Sam Montembeault and Jacob Fowler, who stole the show, split time in net for the Canadians. We'll see a similar situation tonight. Jakub Dobeš will get the start, but we'll also see new acquisition Kaapo Kähkönen as well, and what is likely the battle to be Monty's backup to begin this season. All right, you are all up to date now. Without further ado, to Montreal, Kenzie, take it away.
It's back-to-back preseason action at the Bell Center. Both teams have one game under their belt, each going to a shootout. So a new crop of players here tonight looking to prove themselves and look no further than David Reinbacher of the Montreal Canadiens, the 2023 first-round pick.
And finds himself healthy this time around. Now it's his first preseason action. Obviously, last year he got injured in the preseason against Toronto, but listening to David Reinbacher talk today, didn't talk about the pressure that he's facing, talked about the excitement of this moment and wants to be a complete defenseman, break out pucks quickly, close, make it hard to play against him, and that is things that will be part of his game as he develops into hopefully a top four defenseman, a really good top four defenseman for the Montreal Canadiens down the road.
Head coach Rick Tocchet behind the bench for the Flyers. New era begins, and Martin St. Louis, the bench five, coming off a win last night, decided in a shootout, courtesy of Oliver Kapanen and Jacob Fowler. Tonight, a new crop of players. We've seen Cole Caulfield, Nick Suzuki, Slafkovsky start things off here tonight, and both Kaiden Guhle and Lane Hutson all in full form to start things off.
One player that I think really needs to have a night tonight is Joshua Waugh. He's playing with Newhook and Bolduc, and we saw Owen Beck, who's vying for that third line spot, have a great night last night. He was physical. He scored a goal. Joshua Waugh needs to have the counter punch as the competition heats up throughout the preseason.
Waugh, bubble player at training camp last year, just didn't quite make the cut. I think it's a different story this time around as Kaiden Guhle gets an early shot on net. Samuel Ersson makes the save. Kaiden Guhle, we talked about Reinbacher trying to avoid those injuries this season. Same can be said with Guhle. As Martin St. Louis looks on for a healthy training camp and full roster this season.
And for Kaiden Guhle, the sky's the limit. We know that. We've watched him play right from the moment he stepped into this league. He's looked comfortable, not afraid to make mistakes. His game has got better, but you're right. Staying healthy is going to go a long way for Kaiden Guhle as well.
Tough, right? Some of the injuries have just been fluky. You think back earlier, the appendectomy, and then last year the laceration on the quad, which required surgery, which kept him out from games. Jakub Dobeš will settle the puck for the Montreal Canadiens. The Flyers get some time in the offensive zone. Anthony Richard, or Canadian himself, who led Laval in points that season, 2022-2023 season. A rough and tumble with Juraj Slafkovsky in the corner. Here comes Nick Suzuki, breaking free. The Canadiens captain takes in a line. Hutson, one further to Caulfield. All ready for October. Cole Caulfield lets it rip.
That looks like a practice drill early in the preseason. The big boys getting on the board for the Montreal Canadiens after a 37-goal campaign last year. Cole Caulfield's going to be the beneficiary of a Nick Suzuki set up on the 3-on-2 strips. Sean Couturier heads down the ice. Nice job by Lane Hutson jumping in. And as Hutson has done so well, sells the fake, gets everyone to buy it, and that opens up Cole Caulfield, who reads that perfectly, opens up for the one-timer and beats Sam Ersson.
Cole Caulfield, 53 seconds. That's all they needed to open the scoring in the second preseason game. Lane Hutson with that wonderful primary assist. Calder Trophy winner in full form to start this sophomore season. As Bolduc tries for an early shot, we touched briefly on the importance of this line as this game goes on. Newhook, Bolduc, and the question mark on who will likely fill in on that right side to start the season for the Canadiens, and it's Joshua Waugh getting the look here tonight.
And for Joshua Waugh, it's about intensity, it's about pace. We know that there's a good offensive mind there. He makes good decisions with the puck, but Marty St. Louis needs a little sandpaper. He needs a little physicality in the lineup, and if you're going to play on the third line, those are some of the prerequisites that come with it.
Waugh, 12 games last year with the Canadiens, 23 season prior. As Vincent Rohr will move this puck ahead. The Austrian tries for a chip and chase as Sammy Blais in for help. Off the win, the Abbotsford Canucks Calder Cup, as he enters the zone, has help from Joe Veleno. Also a newer acquisition here. Harrison able to find the puck and get the whistle.
Joe Veleno getting his first look in a Montreal Canadiens uniform, and I just like the way that Cole Caulfield recognizes that this puck is coming, opens up for the one-timer, and Lane Hutson does that so well, where his feet are facing one way and can move his body to make the pass, and Joe Veleno, nice job spinning off his check with a little bit of traffic in front of the net, seeing if he can create some chaos in front of Sam Ersson.
Off the face-off, Lady gains a hold of the puck in the zone, taken down. That's support. We're trying to land the body. Now time for Dennis Gilbert. Last year with the Ottawa Senators, part of that blockbuster trade. Dylan Cousins and Josh Norris of the Buffalo movement. Looking for a new beginning in Philadelphia. Weimmacher heads off to the loose puck. Out in front, looking for some help. Pass support on. Far side pass to the blue line as the Flyers try for another shot. Forward takes the brunt of that wrist shot. He'll head off. Another quick pass from Braun to the Flyers out of the door. Christian Dvorak, welcome back to Montreal. Signing with the Flyers on trade deadline. 1-year deal for Christian Dvorak, $5.4 million. His 10th season in the NHL.
He got a lot of money, too, and there were other teams that were vying for his services, so Philadelphia had to ante up, and they did on a 1-year deal.
How about wearing number 22? Cole Caulfield's former number, and two were roommates on time here in Montreal. The tuck completed the body in the corner. Flyers looking for an opening. Jakub Dobish ready for the shot. Couturier back down low. Hudson. Quick acceleration. Gains control of the puck. Snaps it to Gouli. One up. Trying for Florian Xhekaj here tonight. Exciting moment for the Xhekaj family. Both brothers in the lineup for the Canadiens. Gouli has control. Looking up ice. And Tyler Thorpe. Thorpe picked up in the 2024 draft by the Canadiens. Selected in the 5th round. BC native. Caulfield on the board early for the Montreal Canadiens. 53 seconds. That's all they needed. Canadiens trailed for the majority of the game last night. It was Pittsburgh that got on the board early for some blows in the first period. Suzuki chips it into the zone. Harrison settles the puck. Slavkovsky has his eyes set. Starting the back check. Sanheim reverses. Has Suzuki right there. Very dominant performance for Nick Suzuki. It's just every year getting more comfortable and putting up the points. 89 last year for the Canadian captain.
You know what? It's not just about the points. It's the way he plays the game, and he's gotten better every single year in every single aspect, to the point now where you look at him as he's one of the best two-way centermen in the NHL, and almost touching 90 points last year. Really, really impressive for the captain. 9
game-winning goals, 5 coming in overtime. And also that strength in the face-off dot will be important down the stretch for the Canadiens. And Flyers hope to make a play. Art in the zone has help in on the far side. Waugh moves it ahead as Alex Newhook on the far end. Newhook in behind, forces an offside.
And for Rick Tocchet, he comes over to the Philadelphia Flyers after winning the Jack Adams Trophy in 2023, 2024 with the Vancouver Canucks. And the thing that Rick Tocchet does really well, he can level with players on an individual basis. It's not that much different than what Marty St. Louis has had a lot of success with here in Montreal. And he takes over this Philadelphia team at a similar time to when Marty St. Louis took over Montreal, where there's some pieces that are in transition. You have some good young pieces, but not everyone has arrived yet. He's looking to lay down the foundation for that group.
You think of these two teams, they went into a rebuild around the same time. Philadelphia having 1 year head start. Last made the playoffs, 1920 is Jakub Dobish. Holds the net. The Canadiens just removed from the playoffs 3 seasons. Whereas Philadelphia trying to avoid 6 straight this upcoming season.
Jakub Dobiš going to get tested as Sammy Blais is going to get stripped of this puck on the wall, and Rodrigo Abols, who scored in Philadelphia's first preseason game on Sunday, tries to go through the body of Dobiš. And Dobiš, who took the league by surprise, by storm with his first NHL game, getting a shutout against the Florida Panthers. Such an impressive start to his NHL career.
Stayed up with the Canadiens last year, 2.74 goals against average. Even stepped in for relief in playoffs as well for Dobiš.
He's a gamer. He's an aggressive goaltender. He strikes me as more of a feel guy, but that's okay as long as you make the saves.
Jakub Dobiš getting the start here. Kaapo Kähkönen is well dressed. We saw last night. Fowler and Montembeault split duties. Expect the same here tonight, but we will see. And we talked about the battle for a forward position, starting 6 minutes on the blue line, but also the backup role for Montembeault, in a way, can be up for grabs here. So we see Dobiš and Kähkönen will play it out tonight against the Flyers. Dobiš settles it to the corner. Carrier and Arber Xhekaj set in as a duo. Tuck chased, looking for a play up ahead as Thorpe lands the body using that 6'5" frame. Xhekaj pinned up against the boards. He has support. Orion and Arber both there battling hard. Sanheim along the blue line, fakes. Another chance in front looking for Couturier. As Carrier comes out with control, snaps it to Thorpe. Luke Tuck with pressure. Flyers headed back the other way. Tommy Brain trying to split the D. Tony Brisson lands the body. We saw Davidson drop the gloves the other night for the Canadiens. We'll see what's in store here tonight, especially with both Xhekaj brothers here in the lineup. Next Trump brings on pressure, moves it ahead. Jevchenko breaks free. Out in front, trying to finish the play. Reinbacher uses his stick to disrupt momentum. And Alex Newhook has some help. Raw on the far side for Montreal feeds it out in front. Garrison plays it to the boards. Newhook coming off back-to-back seasons, putting up 15 goals. You had him yesterday, Frankie, as a guy to watch this year.
He can play an important role for this group because of the foot speed. He can be a penalty kill player. He's going to have to get better in the face-off dot. Right now, that's the only left-handed centerman that they have. And if you're a right-handed defenseman on this team, you want to look up the ice and see a forehand to pass it to up the middle of the ice. And he's the only one that provides that right now.
Hudson heads back for the puck. Over the course of the Prospect Showdown weekend, fans had a chance to meet Lane Hudson and see the Calder Trophy in person and get a photo with him. Unique opportunity for the Canadiens fan base over the rookie camp. Slafkovsky looks for room in and along the slot as Caulfield keeps his eyes on the play. Getting his first goal here in preseason action, courtesy of Cole Caulfield. This line looking in full form, ready for October 8th.
Case with any team in the NHL, a lot of nights you're going to win and lose with your leaders, and the leaders had a great season for the Montreal Canadiens last year. Cole Caulfield, 37 goals. Nick Suzuki, a career-high 89 points. And Juraj Slafkovsky just barely getting over the 50-point plateau that he had 2 years ago. There's more there for Juraj Slafkovsky, and if you can believe it, Kenzie, there's more there for this line. They had games where they were dominant, they took games over, they were fast, they were hard to get the puck off of, and they're just getting better. There are some brighter days ahead for this trio, and they can be one of the best lines in the NHL.
Juraj Slafkovsky, point production similar to that of last year, but it's the volume of hits. It wasn't David Savard or Herbert Xhekaj that led the Canadiens in hits last year. It was Juraj Slafkovsky. 194 hits on the regular season, up 42 from his season prior. Talk about Martin St. Louis and wanting to this team to have some sandpaper to their game, and Juraj Slafkovsky uses his size and his feet and that frame and plays a physical game. He is hard to handle. Well,
when you see that Juraj Slafkovsky leads the team in hits, it just tells you how much initiative he has to be a starter, to be an engine for this group. And if the puck's not going in, and that wasn't the case in the first half of the season, the points weren't coming. It was very similar to 2 years ago, but there was initiative to do something, get involved, and Well, that'll go a long way. It's nice to see that. You don't have to try and extract that from a young player. It's already there, and he'll continue with that this season.
Starting his brand new contract this season, 8-year deal, $7.6 million a year for Juraj Slafkovsky. As Joe Veleno settles this puck, looking for Samuel Blais, fires, steal it away. Couturier brings it in over the line, takes a hit from Carrier. He's played such a pivotal role on this blue line. Veleno goes after it. Looking up as Arber Xhekaj takes the player, allows Carrier some room to work. Couturier trying to steer him to the boards, has support from Blais. A give and go over with Carrier. Arber Xhekaj tries to find some room. Stolen away. A chance now for Alex Bopp. It'll take an outside shot. Dobish has the glove save.
Joe Veleno comes over to the Montreal Canadiens on a 1-year deal, and he might want to play against the Montreal Canadiens a little bit more. Has 5 goals in his last 10 games against Montreal and scored on back-to-back nights this past season, December 20th and December 21st. And anytime you have success against a team, chances are they're paying attention, and if a chance comes up to bring you in, they might do that, and that's exactly what the Montreal Canadiens do. It's a good depth player to have. If he's your 13th forward all season, likely you're in a pretty good spot. And for Joe Veleno, there's always that potential that he could be more.
Out in front, another goal for the Montreal Canadiens. A busy first period. Florian Xhekaj finds the back of the net.
There's Mom loving it. The Xhekaj Bowl off to a great start as Florian Xhekaj is going to get his first preseason goal. Comes off some work in the corner by Tyler Thorpe. Does a great job using that body to shield the puck as he fights off Nick Deslauriers. Draws 2 players towards him, and that opens up Florian Xhekaj right in the soft area of the ice. Doesn't get a ton on this shot, but he gets enough to beat Sam Ersson.
2-0 for the Canadiens. Florian Xhekaj on the board. Finished second in team goals last year with the Rocket and led the AHL in penalty minutes. Quite the double threat, Florian Xhekaj. Mentioned how he admired the games of guys like Brady Tkachuk, Tom Wilson. That is the style of player he brings to the table, and that scoring touch, that is so important. Dobish out of his crease. Moves it back for Lane Hutson. Taking his time. 2-0. Canadians lead the way. Caulfield and Florian Xhekaj, your goal scorers. Thorpe and Luke Tuck picking up the assists. Kaiden Guhle moves it ahead. Has some time with Bolduc looking to get open. Frankie, we talked about it yesterday, the last time you and I called a game together. Zachary Bolduc, a member of the Quebec Ramparts. Time changes. 2-0. Canadians lead at the Bell Center in preseason action. Into tonight, this evening was already extra special with Florian Xhekaj and Arber Xhekaj, the brothers, debuting in the first preseason game together. But Florian Xhekaj now on the board, and Mom Simona Xhekaj in attendance to witness the special evening, so she wouldn't miss it for the world.
Really didn't tell the boys either, just tweeted it out for all of Habs Nation to see. Love that. I'm sure they know by now.
Canadians off to a great start. Their second preseason game. Busy week for them. 4 games in 6 days. The Toronto Maple Leafs later on this week, Thursday night, and then Saturday as well. Hudson finding Caulfield. One time from Guhle, hoping for a rebound. Almost finds the centering feed, has some time. Pivot begins to chase. Tonight we see Caulfield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky reuniting. Last night we saw Patrick Laine, Ivan Demidov that are really showing some chemistry, and will likely be Kirby Dach rounding them out on that second line. We still await to see Dach in preseason action. But Gordon saying there's a plan in place to have him ready to go opening night on October 8th. Richard trying to find Couturier, centering pass. Brink one further. Sanheim joining in on the rush. Back out for Brink. Takes a hit from Carrier. Canadians back in control. Another collision in the corners. Valeno looks for a safe option. Has support from Vincent Roar. 2022 pick by the Canadians. Selected in the third round. Ottawa 67 as well. A little bit of familiarity with the North American game. It was played mostly in Switzerland. Luchenko showing his speed through neutral ice. Heads in front, trying to get the shot off. Bisson takes the body. Now time in along the boards for Bump. Keeps his eye on the play. Pat Bisson trying to find the wing pass to Thorpe. Florian Jacki picks up the loose puck.
Jacki did a nice job in his own zone, separating man from the puck, using his body. Those are the little things that really add up if you do them a bunch of times at the end of the night. And nice for Florian Jacki to get on the board with a goal. It goes a long way. Had a great year in the AHL last year with Laval, 24 goals, and there he is. Wastes no time releasing this puck, gets it into a great area, and of course, Mom is loving it. Brings Mom to tears. Such a special moment, even though it is the preseason. Watching your son play in a NHL uniform, as nice as that one.
Florian Jacki really commending the coaching of Pascal Risson as well. His time with Laval last season, one of the best coaches he's ever had, he said. And how vocal he was, very communicative. He always knew where he stood in the lineup. Earned his way up to third-line minutes throughout the playoff push. Talked about the chemistry with Owen Beck and how the two really balanced each other. One prospect to keep your eyes on in Florian Jacki.
It's nice to have another prospect that you can compete with, but also guys that push each other. You both have common goals, and you can help each other achieve those goals.
Lane Hudson. Last week I had a chance to sit down with a lot of the Canadians players, asking them, if you could steal one skill from a teammate, what would it be? And I'd say 90% of them said Lane Hudson's agility and the way he carves out his lanes. There's one, a nice long shot for Hudson. Tippett breaks out with control. Hudson steering him to the corner. Walk in for help as well. Hudson tries to play the body. Newhook brings it in. 5:40 remaining in the first period. Downtown Montreal. Preseason action underway. Some exciting news out of Montreal today. Jeff Molson and France-Margaret Bélanger, the president of Sport and Entertainment here at the Montreal Canadiens, joining the ownership group of the Toronto Tempo WNBA team. There will also be 2 regular season games played here at the Bell Center next season in 2026. An exciting time in the Montreal sports region. You think of what's to come with the WNBA franchise on its way. Also announcing 2 games will be played in Vancouver in the 2026 season as well, as Jeff Molson continues to expand his sport portfolio. Fires in the Canadiens' end early. Brink getting the puck in over the line. Carrier pinned up against the board as Slafkovsky comes in for help. Caulfield rolls off. Keeps his eye as Arber Xhekaj finds Carrier on the far side. Snaps it to the near end for Caulfield. In with speed. Caulfield looking for his second of the night. Caulfield with hands to Suzuki. Back to the point for Xhekaj. A DD pass to Carrier. Suzuki one touch as Arber Xhekaj lets it go. Suzuki to Caulfield. Down low. Slafkovsky chasing after it as Suzuki goes for a change. Caulfield tied up. Fans wanting a hook.
Could have been interference there.
And the Boo Birds are back at the Bell Center.
All we had was power plays last night. More 5-on-5 today. And for Cole Caulfield, Marty St. Louis was talking about him this morning and just said, sometimes you have to do what the game needs you to do, not what you want to do. And for Cole Caulfield, he's made a lot of strides in that regard, according to Marty St. Louis. And, of course, last year gets the results, 37 goals. And, the more you get puck touches defensively, the more you will have the puck offensively. And, for that line, they play against a lot of tough competition. Being in good spots defensively goes a long way for them.
I asked him, too, just about the identity of this team. What does he think the Canadiens' edge will be this season? He said, we're just going to want it more. There's a lot of potential. Nobody is satisfied yet completely with their game. So much growth still to be had and great progress in a short amount of time for the Canadiens. Veleno keeps it deep in the zone. Tippett rolls off. Tries for a centering feed as Reinbacher gains control. We have a healthy, strong season in David Reinbacher. Able to play 13 games in the playoffs with Laval. Coming off that surgery. And a hit that didn't look that threatening in the preseason game against Toronto Maple Leafs this time last year. Him and Laine going down in the same game, and Reinbacher's injury requiring surgery. Laine opted to rehab without surgery. Looking for a clean bill of health this season. Shot high and hard. McDonald keeps it deep in the zone. Gooley plays the body. Has time. 3:28 to go in the first period. Ryan Jacki getting tied up with Samson along the boards. Block. Watches on. Tuck gains control. Snap pass to Gooley. Kim Gooley with speed on the outside. Gooley drives in off the outside of the netting. Keeps in control. Tries to start the cycle with Newhook as Roy gets a shot off. Blocked in front as the Flyers flip it to neutral ice. Gooley finds Hudson. We saw Matheson and Noah Dobson as a duo last night. Hudson and Gooley. And then it'll be that final pairing. Carrier, Jacki, Struble. What will the shakeout be? Over Jacki has had a great training camp. I go back to the scrimmages. Couldn't take your eyes off of him. Wow, a look here trying to feed Alex Newhook.
Arber Jacki a little more trim this time around, shed a little bit of weight, spent some time mobility, working on his feet this summer, and that should help him just be a little more agile, be able to get to pucks first, get up the ice.
Arber Jacki saying he asked Adam Nicholas to send him some drills throughout the summer to kind of work on that speed in the corner, coming out of turns, coming out from a dead stop, working on that acceleration.
That's exactly it for a defenseman. It's the first three strides. Once you get up to speed, you can get moving, but you just don't get afforded that ability. There's not that much room, so the first three strides really have to be explosive.
Battle at center ice. Jakub Dobish will settle here. In his first 5 starts as a member of the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, there's 10 points in the bank that you get from Jakub Dobish last year. And if you don't get those 10 points, you're not making the playoffs. Well, there's another storyline.
Caulfield caught up at center. Slavkovsky finishes it at the other end. Suzuki in the zone. Likely see him try some penalty kill this year. Of course, with the loss of Armia and Dvorak, who's on the other side tonight. Slavkovsky is shot just wide, causing the turnover, trying to take advantage. Final minute to go in the first period. Canadiens up by 2. Kyle Caulfield only needed 53 seconds to get it started for the Canadiens tonight. Veleno chasing after it. Flyers now back in control. Dvorak on the rush. Benny Blade takes a hit in around center ice. Sanheim and Veleno. A physical match entering the zone. Veleno walks away free. Veleno, a nice shake, gets the shot off. Just wide of the net. Thorpe keeping his eyes on the play, starts to backpedal. Final seconds of the first period. Kaden Guhle brings it in to safety behind Jakub Dobish's net. Weighs options. He'll keep in control. Strong outing for the Canadiens to start this second preseason game off. Caulfield and Florian Jacki, your goal scorers.
Oh, a nice start to the preseason for the top line of the Montreal Canadiens, who score an odd man rush goal. And Florian Xhekaj, the younger Xhekaj brother, gets on the board with his mom in attendance. A 2-0 lead for the Habs.
More to come in our first intermission. Laura Dakin, Carlo Koliakovo. The Habs on TSN. Preseason action at the Bell Center.
6 teams, the Montreal Canadiens, with a 2-0 lead. 6 combined penalties in the first period yesterday when the Habs were taking on the Pens. None tonight, as the Habs have the shot advantage as well over the Flyers, 9-5. Let's get you back to the Bell Center. Here again, we've got Kenzie and Frank.
Thank you, Laura. Welcome back inside the Bell Center. Second period on deck between the Flyers and the Canadiens. Caulfield, Florian Xhekaj on the board tonight. And a big night for Joshua Roy.
And it's all about reestablishing the trust that he had a couple years ago for Joshua Roy. Make good decisions with the puck. Have an element of your game that makes you hard to play against, and that's not something that's necessarily natural to him, but he's going to have to push himself in that regard. But that was a good first period for Joshua Roy. He made some good plays in the defensive zone, had some plays towards the front of the net where he didn't turn the puck over, was responsible with it. That's a nice response to your competition within the organization's good game last night in Owen Beck, and Joshua Roy will look to build on that in the second period.
The audition underway for who will round out that third line with Alex Newhook and Zachary Bolduc. Wow, hoping to be the guy. We saw Owen Beck excel last night. Oliver Kapanen as well, scoring the shootout winner for the Canadiens. Long list of who it will be for the Montreal Canadiens this season. Alexei Kolosov in net for the Flyers to start this second period. Saw some game action on Sunday in the Flyers preseason game. Saw 12 or 14 shots. As Nick Suzuki breaks free and over the line. Suzuki, a high and hard shot off the glass. Slafkovsky, whether it was a stick or a puck, took it up high, eased down the tunnel. A towel on his face. We'll keep our eyes on Slafkovsky as Kolosov gets warmed up.
Alexei Kolosov in the net, and it wasn't a good year for the Philadelphia Flyers in net. They had the worst save percentage in the NHL last year, an .872, and Kolosov was part of that. Ersson was part of that, and Fedotov, who got traded to Columbus, now gets a fresh start there. But the Philadelphia Flyers, if they're going to do anything this season to climb the standings, they have to get better goaltending.
Looking to avoid the basement of the Eastern Conference standings this time around. You think of some of the big lands they had in the offseason. The Canadiens landing a guy like Noah Dobson, and the Flyers bringing in a guy like Trevor Zegras. Without a stick, no problem. Tremier heads back. Sealer moves this puck ahead. Carrier plays the body. Has some time. Bump trying for the reverse pass. Another chance just wide. Dobish all over it, looking for chaos in front of the crease. Settles out as Alex Newhook takes it to the corner. Newhook finds Wall, one further to Bolduc. Bolduc and Newhook and toe-to-toe often in the QMJHL throughout their careers. Now line mates tonight. Laurier chips it ahead. Icing waved off. Trying to keep this puck in zone while watching on. Back to the blue line. A long shot hitting the skates of Reinbacher. Still into the hands of the Flyers. Sandy Blais looks on. Drops it deep in the zone. Has time. Reinbacher shakes the pressure. It's a pass to the far side. Looking up to center ice. Veleno chasing after it. Look at Veleno, back wall. All these guys that are up for a position with the Canadiens all have center qualities, fundamentally centers, but have the ability to play wing. And Newhook has that versatility as well. And have to think as well, face-off this season will be by committee for the Canadiens, as Christian Dvorak, now a member of the Flyers, out here tonight. He's so solid in that department.
They'll miss using Christian Dvorak for a lot of key face-offs.
Hudson, end-to-end. Looking up for Luke Tuck on the pass over. O'Shea, Quebec native, chases after it. Tuck, DV pass, Pingu. They put up 3 shots in that first period. Jackeye with a tip in. Last time for Thorpe to make a play. Jackeye starts the back check, gets there in time, uses his frame. And Lane Hutson hopes to take advantage. Hutson drives out wide, takes a look, trying to feed a pass in front for Thorpe. Hutson fighting on. Most points by Habs rookie defender in history. Title belongs to Lane Hutson, and what a year it was last year, entering a sophomore season. Flyers snapping this puck to the outside. Dooley plays the body on once but twice. Flyers able to get it changed as Vincent Roar tries to get open, looking for a stretch pass to Jackeye. A wraparound in front. Roar trying to finish the play. A solid sequence for this trio. Obbles out wide. Delayed penalty on the way. The Flyers are going to go to the power play. Holding is going to be the call. Canadians looking at the official.
Yuri Slafkovsky went down the tunnel after he took a skate to the face by Christian Dvorak. You could see his cheek get cut, so he'll need some repairs before he comes back to the game. In the meantime, it's Alex Carrier off to the box for the Canadians as the Philadelphia Flyers get a power play. He just gets his hand wrapped around Owen Tippett on the wall, enough for the officials to make a call. And well, Philadelphia, this is an area, as much as goaltending was bad, their power play has been last or near last the last 4 years in a row in the NHL. 30th in the NHL last year, and another area that they need to see significant improvement this season.
For the guys like Matvei Michkov, Zegras, and the like, helped to elevate those numbers last year, operating at 15%. That put them at 30th in the rankings. And for a new season here, we're talking behind the bench. Power play underway for the Philadelphia Flyers. Vince Roar getting some time on this PK, as is Alex Newhook. Dvorak feeds it ahead. Couturier tries to sell it. Sanheim, a lane, takes it off the inner skate of Brink. Loose puck, Roar fights for it, tries to finish the play, gains control. Newhook's right there. Squeezed out along the boards. Newhook goes 1-on-3. Couturier comes out with it. Pass up to center, and
that's an early change by Sammy Blais. Alex Newhook was trying to get off the ice and get to the bench, but Sammy Blais jumped the gun and he got involved in the play. This is going to be too many men for the Canadians.
Control. Bench minor penalty. Too many men on the ice.
Last night, the Canadians had 2 chances at a 5-on-3.
Well, now they'll have to kill a 5-on-3 as this puck gets moved up the ice. You can see the left side of your screen. Newhook's changing, but Sammy Blais jumps the gun a little bit, gets involved in the play, and now a minute and 19 seconds of 5-on-3 time. And wouldn't you know it, there's Christian Dvorak getting some power play time. 2 pretty good face-off options if you're Philadelphia, and Couturier and Dvorak.
Valeno will take the draw for the Canadians. The Paquette we saw out there as well, and Kaden Guhle rounding out the Canadians' 3. So some significant time for the Flyers. This 5-on-3, Sanheim taking his time, moves it through the middle of the ice. Christian Dvorak chases after it. Guhle provides help down low. Couturier feeds it to Sanheim along the blue line. Valeno not far behind. Couturier settles. Sanheim. Tippett looking to get open. Couturier snaps it down low to Dvorak. Great look for the Flyers on this 5-on-3. Tippett with a one-timer and another chance. Redirected as Guhle laid his body on the line.
Christian Dvorak was a big part of the Montreal Canadiens penalty kill last season, and it goes to Philadelphia now. And Marty St. Louis counted on him to win faceoffs, shorthanded, offensively sometimes with the goaltender pulled, defensively with the goaltender pulled, to start 3-on-3 overtime, and 55.8% last season. 82 games he was healthy.
Remarkable, right? Never dropped below 52% in the faceoff dot throughout his 4 seasons as a Montreal Canadian. You'll miss those numbers and that success rate. Rink taking his time. Looks on. Sanheim lets it go. Blocked by Arber Xhekaj. New PK at this space to prove himself. New hook out there. Reinbacher as well to round out the Canadiens 3. Brink. One time by Sanheim. Dvorak got a piece of it a little bit as he heads right in front of Dobish. Rink tries to fight opposition. Dvorak can't get by Dobish. A great stop. And out comes Carrier. Now 5-on-4 for the Flyers. A strong sequence for the Canadiens. A lot of PK work last night and power play. Working out some things in preseason action. Under 20 seconds to go. Jetlichenko showing his speed. That's caught up. Reverse. Joe Veleno off to the races. Steered towards the boards. Veleno has had some explosive moments so far in this game. Jetlichenko the other way. And Sammy Blais back to the ice. We're back to 5-on-5. And Xhekaj fighting for the loose puck on the ice. O'Shea now on the outside, a hard shot in the chest of Dobish. A strong kill for the Montreal Canadiens to keep this score at 2-0 for Montreal. Here are the Habs on TSN. We extend our deepest condolences to the Flyers organization and Perron family on the passing of legendary Flyers goaltender and community leader Bernie Perron. Passion extended beyond the ice. Key member of the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey and Education Program. You look at some of the accolades throughout his career, the Montreal native. 2 Vezinas, of course the Cups as well. A strong ambassador in the Philadelphia area. Talks about the organization, the Ed Snyder Youth Hockey and Education Programs. It's been a challenging few weeks. The passing of Ken Dryden as well. Canadian great. Malcolm Dobish settled on number 75 with the Montreal Canadiens. For a while, you've been saying when he first came in through training camp, he was given number 97, and then when he laced up for his first preseason game, he was up against Connor McDavid and the Oilers, and he went back and said, I got to shake it up. I can't wear number 97. So they opted to give him number 89, and he has stuck with that since.
Now on the prior shift, David Reinbacher and Arber Xhekaj did a nice job. And now we got a fight.
Florian Xhekaj all over the score sheet tonight. Up against Delorier in heavyweight. That's why the X going give it to you song. We often hear when Arber Xhekaj drops the glove.
That's a big boy fight for Florian Xhekaj going against Nick Delorier. That's a heavyweight.
And the stamp of approval from older brother
he
Arber.
loves it. I don't know if Mom loves it as much.
But we talked about it, that double threat that Florian Xhekaj brings. The skill, the strength, and the physical edge.
And the willingness to go against a guy like Nick Delorier, who easily one of the toughest, if not the toughest player in the NHL. And Florian Xhekaj, he wanted to go. Like, he's asking Nick Delorier, are we going to do this? And of course, Delorier gives him the fight, and Florian Xhekaj does a nice job hanging in. Of course, much younger, only 21 years old, but takes a couple punches along the way, no worse for it. And he is leaving a great impression in his first preseason action this year.
So what, he's one assist away from the Gordie Howe hat trick now?
We're on Gordie. We're on Gordie watch.
We're on Gordie watch here in Montreal. Canadians in the fire zone. Partway through this second period. Kolosov in net for the Flyers. It was Harrison that started the game. Jakob Dobish at the other end. As soon as Kaapo Kähkönen steps in. Blais sends it down low. Caulfield. Still no return of Juraj Slafkovsky. So Sammy Blais getting a look here with Caulfield and Suzuki. Couturier skates in. Chips it ahead. Back the other way. Nick Suzuki finds Caulfield. Nice speed. East to west puck movement between the captain and Caulfield.
That was such a great pass by Nick Suzuki. He barely had the puck on his stick.
Here he goes again, the captain, Suzuki, an out wide shot, looking for the rebound. Play all over it.
And for Florian Xhekaj, you see him fight Nick Deslauriers. He scores a goal. There's something about him that just screams playoff hockey, just willing to do whatever it takes, intensity. And you think of teams that are having success, especially the Florida Panthers, like that's a guy who fits that identity. And for the Montreal Canadiens, you made the playoffs last year, but at some point you want to start competing for championships. You have to have a little bit of that, junkyard dog type mentality in your roster, and it can't just be one player, but it starts with 1 and 2, and then it permeates through the rest of the roster.
I've heard St. Louis say in recent press conferences, wanting this team to have that sandpaper edge to their game. Newhook with his speed. Cuts through center ice, takes the puck out wide, drops it off. That Brisson shoots it deep into the zone as Newhook looks down low for Waugh. 2-1-2 battle to the right of Kolosov. Comes out with it. Canadians in control. It's Waugh leading the way. Brisson gets open. Feedly pass. Weinbacher steps in. Newhook lets the wrist shot go. Canadians a few looks, just missing the net so far in this game. Slavkovsky, a great A chance in the first period. Weinbacher settles it on the far side. Perrier to the ice. Welcomes the pressure as the Flyers send it into Montreal territory. Icing will be the call.
Alex Newhook's going to generate a chance popping into the high slot. He did that a lot last year, and because he's explosive getting out of the gates with his skating, it's hard for teams to cover him when he does that. And Philadelphia was so close to making the playoffs 2 seasons ago. They missed by 4 points. It came down to their last game of the regular season against the Washington Capitals. Took a step back last season, and I think they were overachieving 2 years ago. We'll try to get back to that pace this season.
Kaapo Kähkönen starting to put on the gear down at the Canadiens bench. St. Hill will come in shortly, take over net minor duties for the Canadiens in the second preseason game.
It was a well-traveled year for Kaapo Kähkönen last year. Signed last offseason with Winnipeg, claimed off waivers by Colorado, then claimed again by Winnipeg, and then traded to the Panthers and helped the Charlotte Checkers go to the AHL final last year.
They took down Laval Rocket in their way there. That guy will have to retreat. Takes a look on. Deep into the zone it will go. Kolosov brings it back up high and off the glass. Veleno keeps it in. Christian Dvorak had play to tip it. Tries to get by. Xhekaj keeps him to the outside. Flyers working this puck up high. Gilbert in on the far side. Back up. Tippett the one-time shot. Roar moves it ahead. That works. Tippett's check. Canadians able to get a full change as Gooley heads back forth.
Lane Hudson had so much success last season, and a lot of that was playing next to Caden Gooley. Of course, spent a lot of time with Mike Matheson as well. In the early goings to the season, it felt like Lane Hudson was going to be stapled next to David Savard just to have that insulation. But Hudson, he could carry his own. He could hold his own, and that's another mobile pairing that the Canadians will have if they elect to go with Hudson and Gooley. Have a lot of mobility in Dobson and Matheson, and it shapes up to be a really nice skating back end, especially in that top 4.
A lot of different combinations St. Louis can play with. We'll see if there'll be much change as the season goes on. Clayton Hudson with speed, looking out in front to finish the play. Dvorak watching on. Up high. Another play from Lane Hudson. In full form. Hudson gets to the near boards. Fires able to get this puck out of the zone. Hudson another crack at it. Far side pass to Gooley. Back up high. Looking for a release from Luke Tuck, who really was honored to wear the C on his chest over the course of Prospect Showdown weekend. As Hudson tries full away, but the net pops off. Bolduc skating through. 9:03 remaining in the second period, and we'll have a goaltender change for the Montreal Canadiens. As Kakinen will step out on the ice, and Yakub, the two will swap.
Well, that's a good half game for Jakub Dobiš as he checks out and Kaapo Kähkönen checks in. And now we'll get a look at all four goaltenders that have a realistic chance of playing games for the Montreal Canadiens this season. Jacob Fowler was excellent last night, so calm and poised in the net. A nice start for Jakub Dobiš, and for Kaapo Kähkönen, who's a veteran guy, gives you good depth to have within the organization. And Colorado and Winnipeg both wanted to have him at times last season.
Signed a one-year deal with the Canadiens, $1.15 million for Kaapo Kähkönen. A break for the Flyers. A chance here. Richard, he scores! Anthony Richard gets the Flyers on the board in Montreal.
Well, it's a really tough situation for Kaapo Kähkönen to come into the game. You're cold, you've been sitting for half the game, and you're going to face a breakaway right away as this puck is going to get away from David Reinbacher. The speed of Anthony Richard is going to make this happen. A bouncing puck that Reinbacher can't handle. He doesn't have any support. Richard's all over it, and Kähkönen's just a little late changing the angle. And how can you blame him as he just steps into this game? Richard does a nice job putting this on the blocker side as he jumps all over the bouncing puck that Reinbacher couldn't handle. Brings the Flyers within one.
Richard has been with the Canadiens organization. Suited up for 13 games. The big club put up 5 points during that time, 2022-2023 season.
That's a really tough play for David Reinbacher to have to handle. It's a bouncing puck. You don't have support. You can try and live to fight another day, but what does that look like? Are you just retreating away from the puck? It's a weird sequence to have to do as a defenseman. Just a bad bounce for him.
An awkward collision with Bolduc. Bump along the boards. Will pop right back up. Guys like Bump Luchenko pushing for an opening night spot here this upcoming season. Luchenko made opening night roster last year. 4 games before being reassigned to the OHL. Bolduc will flip this to center. Sanheim getting a hold of it as Caulfield gets back to his feet. 8 to go in the second period. Two-on-two battle into the right of Kähkönen. Valeno pushing through, trying to pull this puck out. Back up high it will go. Sanheim snaps it across. Blay getting his shin pads in the lane, and a great stick to follow up. Moore lands the check as the Canadiens break out. Valeno moves it ahead. Keep your eyes on the bench to see Slavkovsky appears to be back. Gives coaching staff a thumbs up. And a huge hit landed. Sammy Blais sending a message.
And that's what Sammy Blais does. He's a physical player and provide that spark for the team.
Robert Xhekaj a shot from the blue line. Off the stick. Broken. Gives Xhekaj another chance at it. Chips it to the far side. Robert Xhekaj picks it up on the half boards. Takes a look. Far side pass. Bolduc turns back. No stick for Tippett. Carrier. Now time for Bolduc. Sets up Carrier. Brings it down deep in the zone. Tippett seeing what he can do with his feet, and a great read by Abels, and he'll go for a change. Stretch pass for Alex Newhook. Backhand pass through the crease looking for Waugh, driving in on the far side. Game of runs, Christian Dvorak will go for it. 1-on-3, Dvorak. Looks for help. It's squeezed out by the Canadiens. Newhook finds Bolduc along the blue line. He'll take a hit.
Another good job by Joshua Waugh defensively. Good urgency getting back and helping your teammate win a battle to get the puck out of your own zone. And he's put together a good over half a game so far.
Samson slowing up pace. Thorpe watching on. An assist for him tonight on the Florian Xhekaj goal back from the first period. Now through center. The Flyers drop it back. A hit laid. Luke Tuch joining in on the fun. Thorpe looking back. Has some time. Brink to center. Courier. Nice here. The Canadians to the outside. Sealer chasing Hudson. Under 5 remaining in the second period. Flyers getting on the board. Richard taking advantage of fresh legs of Kaapo Kähkönen entering the crease for Jakub Dobeš.
Now, Tyler Thorpe is going to go for a change, but he's had a great game. Really does a nice job of using his body, physical presence, comes up with a lot of pucks. That's a guy who has some identity for you lower in the lineup.
Caulfield steps in. A mishandle. Bonds leaves it out. Caulfield coming up career best 37 goals last year. How helpful it can be working with the same trio. You're out. You do wonder, Ivan Demidov, would he maybe get a look with Suzuki at all, with Caulfield? Time will tell. Slafkovsky back out on the ice, which is good to see. Suzuki, he scores! Nick Suzuki gives the Canadians a 3-1 lead.
Easy game for the top line of the Montreal Canadiens as Nick Suzuki's going to get on the board. A really nice feed by Juraj Slafkovsky, who's going to stop up and find Suzuki. But it's the touch on the puck by Suzuki that's so impressive and makes this happen. As he gets it, doesn't overhandle it, just pushes it into an area and then releases the shot. The shot's going to fool Kolosov as there's a couple sticks in the way that disguises the release point off the stick of Suzuki. And he restores the 2-goal lead for the Montreal Canadiens. Quick work by the first line.
And here is Slafkovsky may need to go back in and get stitched up there. Suzuki on the board in preseason action. Sammy Blake comes in. His shot. Iron hard. The Canadians coming back in this second period, taking back the score sheet. Suzuki from Slafkovsky and Caulfield for multi-point night for Cole Caulfield. And Arber Xhekaj is getting into it. Hobbles. Everybody's in on the fun.
Well, Florian fought. You'd think Arber wants to fight now. Nick Deslauriers can only have so many fights in one game.
3-1, the Canadians lead against the Philadelphia Flyers, courtesy of Nick Suzuki.
Arber Xhekaj off to the box. Rodrigo Abols off to the box as Arber Xhekaj looking to get involved in some of the rough stuff as he goes after Abols, who took a healthy run at Vincent's Rohrer just prior to the whole altercation. As Abols and Rohrer go shoulder to shoulder, Rohrer takes the worst of it, and Xhekaj gets tripped up. That's the initial call. And then Xhekaj sees Abols and says, you know what, I'm going to grab you and see if I can get you into the fray with a fight. And
Dvorak first on it, trying to pull back. Xhekaj in that moment as he got closer and closer.
Juraj Slafkovsky back, gets a nice assist. Took a Christian Dvorak skate to the face, and it's going to be an extra minor penalty for the Canadians, so they'll be shorthanded as the Philadelphia Flyers head back to the power play. It's going to be 4 minutes for Xhekaj with Luke Tuch serving the extra 2.
Face-off in the Canadian zone. Fires to the power play. Dvorak, Couturier. Sanheim calls for it. Looks on. One-time shot by Tippett. Lets it go. Another play looking for the loose puck in front. One 2-on-2 battle in the far corner. Couturier seeing if he can pull this puck out. Wall right there as well. He can bring it out of the skates of Carrier. Up high. Another shot. Brink lets the one-timer go. His second attempt on a power play tonight. The one-time shot. Sanheim down low. Couturier again looking for Brink in the slot. Tippett slows up pace. Sanheim looks on. Brings it center of the ice. Newhook locked in on Sanheim. Give and go with Dvorak. Tippett! He scores! Noah Tippett cashing in on the power play for the Flyers.
Owen Tippett had 20 goals last season, 0 power play goals, and he plays all kinds of power play time as he's got a great shot, good release, and he's going to use it here. He sets up a give and go with Christian Dvorak that's going to allow him to attack downhill. He's going to draw Caden Gooley right to it, up into the high ice. Gooley goes for it, and that allows Tippett to walk this down low and take a shot that he beats Kaapo Kähkönen. He's just off his post, off his angle, and gives enough room for Owen Tippett to grab his first preseason goal. Crazy to me that a player with that good of a shot had 0 power play goals last season, had 28 goals 2 years ago, and if Owen Tippett can get you 8 to 10 power play goals, that'll solve a lot of problems on your power play.
Owen Tippett had a 20-plus goal season for a third year in a row, and found some success here on the power play to start this season. Flyers within one. Uchenko with speed through the center of the ice. Moves it ahead. Richard for his second of the night. So Tippett on the power play. Dvorak and Sanheim picking up the assist. Christian Dvorak back in Montreal. Actually had Rick Tocchet as head coach when he was in Arizona, so some familiarity there. Don back to the point. Up to the outside. Laurier to the ice. Another attempt. Kähkönen plays it down low. Reinbacher, a shoulder check. Florian Jacki is there as the two battle down low. 1:02 to go in the second period. Flyers both goals coming in the middle frame. Now Thorpe to the ice. Samson looks on, reverse pass. Gives a moment for Gilbert. Flyers are 16 when you look at Gilbert's career in the NHL, signing as a free agent in the offseason. Veleno gets after it. Gilbert pins him against the board, so Blade feeds it back to the blue line. Gooley snaps it to Hudson. Back to the slot, opening to find Vincent Roar. Open. He keeps it in play. Final minute to go in the second period. Samson watches on. Looks to make a play. Hudson pivots just in time. Veleno keeps it moving forward. Roar, an angle. He'll take it out wide. Vincent Roar to the slot. Veleno's there. Keeps it in play. It's time for Caulfield to find the blue line. Ooh. Snaps it to Hudson. Now Slafkovsky steps in. The big man snaps it across. Bozov tracks it. Suzuki gets open for a one-timer. He'll go for a skate. Takes the shot through the slot. Caulfield keeps it down low. Looking on. Caulfield. This pass across. Hit Gaucher, and that gets redirected to center. As the buzzer sounds, 40 minutes come and gone. A 3-2 game. Canadians in the lead, courtesy of Nick Suzuki.
Really nice period for the Canadians. Top line again. Tough situation for Kaapo Kähkönen to jump into as he faces a breakaway as his first shot. The Canadians carry a 3-2 lead into the third period.
Arpon Basu will join us in our second intermission for our segment Arpon's Notebook as we send things over to Laura Dykin to Habs on TSN.
Going on when it comes to our game at the Bell Center. 2-point night for Suzuki, 2-point night for Cole Caulfield, and it is the Canadians with the 1-goal lead heading into the final 20 as we say hello once again to Kenzie and Frankie.
Thank you, Laura. Welcome back to the Bell Center. 40 minutes come and gone. Some entertaining game, but for you, Frankie, it's been Tyler Thorpe that has caught your attention so far.
He has made a really nice impression on me, and I'm sure the Montreal Canadiens brass who are watching this. A 5th-round pick in 2024. 6'4". He's 20 years old, but he already knows how big he is and how to use his body, and that sometimes is half the battle for young players that have that size. They don't realize how strong they are, how capable they are. Well, he realizes it, and he uses his body, and he protects the puck, and he can bounce off some bigger players and make things happen, extend that offensive zone time. It's been a really nice 2 periods for Thorpe.
Vancouver Giant won game with Laval last year, regular season, put up 2 assists in that game. Eric can talk a little bit, too, about this line. In the play of Florian Xhekaj here tonight, opened the scoring for the Canadiens. Success in the face-off dot as well, as won 4 of his 5 draws, operating at 80% coming into the 3rd period. And Nick Suzuki's done quite well as well, 70% so far in this game. Kakkonen settles the puck for Hudson, who takes a hit from Dvorak. Swing there for Cole Caulfield, his former roommate. Canadians change personnel. Hudson goes for a skate. Takes a look up ice, finds Caden Cooley. Looks for a healthy, hard season this year as a member of the Montreal Canadiens. Puck loose out in front. Brink chips it ahead. Flyers come in with pace. Bump leading the way out wide. Carrier steers him to the corner. Waz lays a body. Great opportunity tonight. Playing alongside Zachary Balduc and Alex Newhook. Slap shot, toe save by Kakkonen. Strong release from Grans along the blue line. Carrier. Carver, Xhekaj. Moves his puck ahead. Xhekaj. We saw a lot through the scrimmages leading into preseason games. Jumping up in the rush. Spending some time in the offensive zone. Evolving his game, chance for Bump. All alone. Bump with the deep. Can't get by the post. What a sequence for Alex Bump. Eager to crack the roster this season. Picked up in the 2022 draft by the Flyers. Taken in the 5th round.
He's been the talk of training camp for the Philadelphia Flyers. He's been really impressive, and they think he has a really good chance of making the team coming off a really successful final year at NCAA.
Puck trickles to the corner. Blais on and early. Swings it back down for Vincent Rohr. Another strong camp for Rohr this season. Starts in on the back check. Buisson looking to the far side for Reinbacher. Valeno with an early play. Takes the brunt to the hip from Delorier. Blais follows that up with some physicality. Reinbacher loses an edge. Keeps in control. He'll look up ice. 6 points in the playoffs last year for Reinbacher. Canadians eased him in back to play after the knee surgery. Xhekaj finds quick pass to Cooley from Hudson. Snaps it deep into the Flyer zone. Florian Xhekaj will pick it up at the far side. Working down low. Tuck keeping his eye on the play. Florian finds the blue line to Hudson. Release from Hudson along the blue line. When you think of those Calder finalists last year, Matvei Michkov just missing the top 3. Such a strong season. Point production he had for the Flyers. Such a welcomed addition in the same draft of Reinbacher. Top 10 was always exciting to see who was going to go where. Canadians opted to select David Reinbacher.
Part of Lane Hudson winning the Calder Trophy last season is just how impressive of a young rookie crop it was. Macklin Celebrini could have won. Dustin Wolf would have had a strong case. And I think you talked about Matvei Michkov. On some other years, any 4 of those guys are winning that trophy.
The question is, what will Ivan Davidov's season look like this year with the Canadians? Michkov spent 1 season together, playing for St. Petersburg in the junior system. Suzuki through traffic. Caulfield right there. Nice move by Cole Caulfield. And cut by Kolosov to start this 3rd.
Well, Alex Bump has been the talk of training camp for the Philadelphia Flyers. He's been really impressive, and here he's going to get an opportunity to score as he goes undetected. Late change for the Canadians. Arber Xhekaj is up in the rush, and no one covers up. And he tries to fake Kaapo Kähkönen, go to the backhand or the blocker side. And fakes to the backhand. Has net to work with, just can't put it past the pad.
Early chance for the Flyers, another one here. Bobby Brink tries to go for a skate. That guy pulls it back, finds Carrier on the far side. Slavkovsky connects with Suzuki. In over the line, Suzuki working in up high in the zone. Xhekaj there for support. Xhekaj to the backhand, high and hard. Backhanded shot for Arber Xhekaj. Looking to follow suit. And brother Florian, who's already got a goal tonight.
Well, this is not going to be Xhekaj's bread and butter, but that's where being a little more nimble and a little more agile goes a long way for Arber Xhekaj. Jumping into the rush, activating off the blue line, and Nick Suzuki on that shift, following up the puck with a couple second efforts that lead to direct chances at the front of the net. He's so strong on that stick once he leans on it, and the Canadians get a couple chances, one from Xhekaj and one from Caulfield because of it.
Face off to the left of Kolosov. Canadians win it back. Ryan Bacher takes a hard shot. Captisson working in the zone. Franz eager to find Tippett along the boards as Waugh clips it right back in. Waugh and Newhook chasing on. Half time for Sealer to look for the centering pass to Tippett, and he'll connect. Back to the ice. 2-on-1 there for the Flyers. Kähkönen looking for it. He'll hold strong. Hobbles looking for goals in back-to-back games with the Flyers.
Well, the Flyers looking to get something off the rush. Kaapo Kähkönen's going to squeeze this puck as they do a nice job on a 3-on-2. Reinbacher gets sucked outside the dots. That creates a 2-on-1 as Rodrigo Apples tries to go between the legs of Kähkönen. Doesn't know if he quite has it, but is able to squeeze it. In that situation, if Reinbacher's going to go play outside, that's where his partner Bisson has to go and squeeze the middle player, play it like a 2-on-2 on the right side of the ice. Instead, it turns into a 2-on-1.
Off the face-off, off the mask of Kähkönen, and gets a rebound as well. Nice bump. Strong chance for him in this third period. Couturier directed traffic off that face-off. Now bump with an excellent opportunity on the secondary. Bump to Brink now to set up Couturier. Shot saved by Kähkönen. Flyers finding some rhythm off the offensive zone face-off. McDonald back up high. Reinbacher tracking this, keeping it to the outside. Sammy Blais gains a hold of it. Blais looks on. Samson gets pinned, allows the puck to go the distance. McDonald with a shoulder check as the Canadians go for a full change. With the go Habs, go chance begin. Bump wants another angle. We'll find Sanheim streaming through center. Travis Sanheim stood up by Caden Cooley. Florian Xhekaj in alone against Delorier, the two reuniting. In the corner, Montreal zone. Another board battle underway. Wayne Hudson, that explosive speed, has some room. Right when you think Hudson doesn't have an option, he makes one. Florian Xhekaj, another one! Into the glove of Kolosov. What a night for Florian Xhekaj and the Xhekaj family. Canadians in the lead by 1.
Around Florian Xhekaj grow in this market last season with the success he had in the American Hockey League. 69 games played, 24 goals in the regular season. And for me, part of the reason why he's such an enticing prospect for this team is because the identity that he has, and he's playing to that identity tonight. He's got a goal, he's got a fight, he's been around the puck. You need to have different types of players on your roster in order to have success, and this is a player that fits the mold of someone you would like to have lower in the lineup, and especially come playoff time. And he's still so young, just scratching the surface. And it could be such a force going forward.
Very much playing into his identity and his game blending at every stage he finds himself at. Canadians chip it into the Flyer zone. Bonds goes back for it. Bolduc keeps it in zone. Finds over Xhekaj along the blue line. Both brothers playing for the Hamilton Bulldogs at one point. For another. 1 year apart as Carrier lets a wrist shot go.
It's a nice little sequence in the offensive zone for Well, this line for the Montreal Canadiens, ultimately no traffic in front of Kolosov, but Alex Carrier delivering a shot. And things just became so much more stable when Alex Carrier arrived to the Montreal Canadiens last year. He played really well with Caden Gooley. They became a shutdown pair, played against top lines, and added an element that was very much needed on the back end. A little more experience and a little more calm, and he'll look to carry that over this season. And he's got 2 more years left on his deal at $2.75 million. It's pretty good value for a guy that can play 20 to 22 minutes a night against the opposition's best players. And you think about now bringing in Noah Dobson, like that pushes Alex Carrier lower on the totem pole.
It was a trade that really fit the Canadiens' needs, as you talked about it, that shut-down guy. They exchanged Justin Barron for Carrier, and Barron, a bright future lies ahead for him and his future in the game. But the Carrier has the qualities the Canadiens need. And he's just kind of in the gift that keeps on giving with the role he has, and penalty kill minutes likely on the horizon for him this season. Hudson trying for an angle. Suzuki after it, has help from Gooley. Lane Hudson back in the zone.
One of the things that was so impressive about Lane Hudson, outside of all the records that he broke last season, was the fact that he was durable. He played all 82 games. Like, this is not a guy that's built, 6'4", 215 pounds. He's a smaller guy. He's 5'10", 162 pounds, and look what he did. Most rookie assist by a defenseman in NHL history, ties that, Larry Murphy. But the fact that he could withstand the rigors of an NHL season at such a young age, at that stature, maybe doesn't get talked about enough.
Play underway in Montreal. Bumped his speed through center. Really elevated his game in the third period. Some chances. There's another one for Alex Bump. Places to succeed here in training camp. Veleno, a break for the Canadiens the other way. Albert Jacki joining in on the rush. Blade keeps it in zone, finds Veleno. Blade picks up the loose puck, goes 1-on-2 to the board battle. Bump right there up against Veleno, comes out with full control. Brink chips it in, he'll go for a change. Gives Albert Jacki some time. Jacki, a head-up play, finds brother Florian. And chip it in. Wiesel protects his gap as Reinbacher able to chip it out the other way. Tuck trying to find Florian Jacki in the slot. I believe he touched on it too. Tuck the opportunity to wear the C on his chest throughout the prospect showdown, and Pascal Vincent just said, Tuck, a very modest, serious guy. It was a very special moment for him, and he knew the significance to have a letter on his chest wearing the Canadiens uniform. He's a pro through and through. Tuck, who's still quite young, he's 23 years old. Wrap around, Kakkonen reads the play, a secondary chance. Canadiens have traffic. Sanheim will jump up in the play. There's 1-on-3. Sanheim takes it to the corner. Reinbacher on the far side. Takes a hit from Delorier. He's up to find Tuck, who flips it to center.
It's a nice play on the breakout by David Reinbacher. Absorb a hit, spin off it, and then very calmly shovel it into the middle of the ice for a clean breakout.
Fans behind this sequence. Not happy. In below the goal line. Shot blocked in front. Gooley looking to finish the play. Franz keeps it down low. Back up high. Uchenko. Reverse pass. Richard. Another shot from Anthony Richard. Just wide. Laurier can't beat. We saw to the loose puck. Gooley finding Bolduc. Uses his speed through center, and still an addition for the Canadiens in the offseason as well. Suzuki, a high and hard wrist shot. Canadiens wanting to add depth scoring. Jack Bolduc fitting that bill. Cooley looks on, a wrist shot. Olasov finds the loose ends. 9:30 remaining in the third period. Canadians lead the way 3-2 against the Philadelphia Flyers.
Can't help but notice that when the Montreal Canadiens top line is on the ice, the pace of the game picks up. Now, how does that affect a player like Joshua Waugh? He's trying to play with a little more pace, a little more energy, but it's not necessarily something that comes natural to him. So as the game goes on, you're tracking it and saying, okay, do you have the same energy, the same foot speed that you had in the first period, the same urgency? And the challenge for him now in the third period, don't let that drop. Had a good start to the game. It's dipped a little bit. You have to find that, show some initiative to keep pushing yourself to play with that same pace. The same pace that the top line for the Montreal Canadiens always seems to have.
Montreal back in preseason game action on Thursday against Toronto. We'll see if Joshua Waugh's in the lineup there. There's someone like Kirby Dach. We will wait and see. Hudson working along the boards. Slavkovsky lands a hit. Cooley skates away with it, finds Suzuki. Now Slavkovsky through center, a chance for Jari Slavkovsky. Poke checked away by Sanheim. Suzuki back in control. Hudson, that angle, he'll go for it, passes it off. Cooley with a snapshot. High and hard. Slavkovsky hoping to keep this going in the corner. He'll regain control. Cooley working it up high, now down low for Suzuki, hoping to find Lane Hudson as he streamed to the center of the net. Hudson, who led the Canadians in points during the playoffs. That's another point, too. Carrier, Matheson, Savard, only a handful of the Canadians defenders had playoff experience. I'd say the same about the forwards as well. Lots to build on this year. First time the Canadians last year took the collective step forward, and now they want to build on that.
So Rick Tocchet comes over to Philadelphia, and we know where this team is at. They're in a rebuild. They have to still acquire some of the pieces that are going to take them to where they want to go. And with Tocchet leaving Vancouver, he maybe buys himself a pretty long runway here to establish what the Philadelphia Flyers are going to be all about. And there's plenty of new faces around the NHL behind benches, and the Philadelphia Flyers will be in very good hands with Rick Tocchet.
Last night we saw Dan Hughes, the new bench boss for the Penguins, sold it over to the Rangers.
The expectations right now in Philadelphia has to be for improvement. Just seeing tangible improvement year over year. And eventually they'll get to the point where they have the pieces and they can say, okay, now's our time to push. Just like where the Montreal Canadiens are at right now. It's their time to push.
Hughes, Jeff Gordon saying, you know, they're open to adding as long as a new addition makes sense for the present and future of this team as they kind of enter this new phase of the rebuild, trying to form an identity. Hudson, rather Carrier moves it ahead as Blade tries to pick up the loose puck on the outside. Moore working down low. Veleno rolls off. Blade drives the net, takes the body with him. This line has been working this preseason game. Veleno, Roar, and Sammy Blades, they head off. Jackeye waits for the full change. Connects at the far side. Eson chips it in. Olasov comes out to play. His second preseason game. Started on Sunday night. Came in partway through to start the second period this evening. Harrison began the game for the Flyers. Anthony Richard takes a hit. Florian Jackeye pulls out control. Reinbacher back to his feet just in time as pressure awaits. And Frankie, I haven't had a chance to ask you now that we're kind of at center ice. What do you make of this new logo here for the Canadians, the all red at center ice?
I like it. I'm a fan of it. I think it fills out the ice nicely. Looks good.
Some inspiration behind it.
Imposing.
All about the red this season. Supposed to symbolize the top-down view of the Stanley Cup. Canadians, another tilt on deck. Luke Tuch involved. Tuch and McDonald dancing here in the Flyers' end.
A little bit of a wrestling match as Luke Tuck gets involved. Fighting Hunter McDonald, the 23-year-old, 6th-round pick of the Philadelphia Flyers in 2022. So 2/3 of the 4th line for the Canadiens are willing to drop the gloves.
Well, since we already kind of talked about the Florian Gordie Howe hat trick, we might as well throw Luke Tuck in the mix as well. He's got an assist on the Jack-Eye goal, and he's got a fight. So let's see if he score himself a goal here in the final 6 minutes to complete the Gordie Howe hat trick.
We'll see what the officials are deliberating about as both players are in the box. Imagine deciding if someone's going to get an instigator. But whatever you do as a hockey player in preseason games, especially if you're in that category of player, Luke Tuck, Florian Jack-Eye, do it. You don't know how many preseason games you're going to get. You'll leave the impression whenever you can. You don't want to waste any time.
Of course, next year it'll be different.
Yep.
That's preseason games. Tack that on to the regular season.
Philadelphia 41 has 2 minutes for cross-checking and 5 minutes for fighting. Montreal 88 has 5 minutes for fighting.
All right, so the Canadiens are going to get their first power play of the game as McDonald's get the initial cross-check. He cross-checks Tuck. He's going to... Tuck slashes him, McDonald cross-checks him, breaks his stick over Tuck, and then Tuck's had enough. They're going to fight. So Montreal finally getting a power play, and Marty St. Louis would be happy to get his first power play unit some reps. There's not that much time to practice these things at this point. Getting some game reps, and Zach Bolduc should get a look. We'll see what's going on the bench right now. There's a little confusion. Marty St. Louis. There shouldn't be any confusion. It should be a Montreal power play.
And the personnel we expected: Slafkovsky, Bolduc, Caulfield, Hudson, and Nick Suzuki to the ice for this Canadiens power play. We saw last night a version of what will be the second unit for the Canadiens. Another exciting storyline coming into this season for Montreal. These versatile 2 power play units Martin St. Louis has at his disposal.
Philadelphia needs a player in the box. They haven't realized that they need someone to serve the 2 minutes. McDonald has 5 for fighting. So that's the holdup by the scorer's box right now.
Who will it be?
There we go.
Eklund will take a seat.
Everything's sorted out. Felt like it was harder than it was supposed to be.
It's preseason for everybody. Face off in the Flyer zone. Canadiens on the power play. The top unit to work. Lane Hudson takes it across the blue line. Caulfield is offside. Finds Hudson. Trying to shake off Couturier. Caulfield keeps it up high. Hudson looking for a better option as Couturier is getting closer. Finds Slafkovsky at the far end. Cole Caulfield will open the scoring just 53 seconds into this game. Looks on the near side of Suzuki. Down low, Bolduc pulls it in. Tried to feed Slafkovsky at the other end. Canadiens with some looks. Slafkovsky slows up pace. Bolduc. Suzuki drops down. Opts for the pass. Back up high for Hudson. Slafkovsky calls for it. Suzuki pulls it down low. The captain up high for Hudson. Steps in, a wrist shot, looking for the loose puck. Caulfield keeps it in play. Now Juraj Slafkovsky keeps it in on the far side. Hudson gets there just in time, but is met by Tippett's pressure. Now a break all alone, Sanheim. Short-handed, Sanheim to the backhand. Kähkönen extends the pad. Well, the thing is, your goaltender has to be your best penalty killer, and Kolosov's contested at one end, and Kähkönen at the other. Roy in the zone for the Canadiens, under 30 seconds to go in this power play, their first of the game.
Well, the Canadiens with some good pressure on the power play as the Philadelphia Flyers with a super aggressive penalty kill. And Nick Suzuki taking his time with this puck behind the net. And a shot by Lane Hudson that just trickles to the side of the net. And then Hudson, desperation play to get over to the blue line, keep it in. But as he sent it in on the backhand, Travis Sanheim was able to get past him. And Kaapo Kähkönen makes a nice save on the breakaway.
Face off just outside Philadelphia zone. Kleinbacher, quick pass to Newhook.
Well, when you watch the Montreal Canadiens' first power play unit move the puck around, there's a lot of command, a lot of conviction when they have the pucks on their sticks. And for Montreal, having a power play that climbs up a little bit, 21st power play in the NHL last season, if that can get into the top 10, that'll be an added offensive injection for this team.
Bolduc mainly filled the bumper position while that unit was out there, the position he filled with St. Louis. So he played a little bit of flank on the power play back in junior, but that's where the bulk of his time was spent last season in the NHL.
Well, there's no reason why Montreal can't have a top 10 to 15 power play in the NHL this season. There's a lot of options. They're going to have two pretty balanced units. You'll have viable scoring threats on both units.
His 21st in the NHL last year on the power play. Looking to improve those numbers this upcoming season. Arvid Xhekaj looks on, stretch pass, connects with Sammy Blais, a nice feed. Montreal's in the zone. Gilbert takes a hit from Veleno, buys Arvid Xhekaj some time. To the slot and a quick release from Blais again. Thorpe looking for Veleno. He gets tied up. These lines spent a significant amount of time this game in the offensive zone, whether generating chances off the cycle or even off the rush.
Look out.
The gasp from the fans say it all. Carrier to the middle of the ice, looking for the extra chance. We've seen both Carrier and Xhekaj jump up in the rush this game. Suzuki, top line, back to the ice. Suzuki out in front, looking for Cole Caulfield. Tippett, out for a bump. Pushed off as Suzuki finds Caulfield. Using his feet through center ice, Cole Caulfield is offside, cuts back. Far side play, Hudson heads on it first. Courier keeps it in, stays on side somehow. Delayed penalty on the way. The arm goes up. Philadelphia to the power play as hooking is going to be the call against the Canadiens. Lane Hudson to the box for the Montreal Canadiens as the Philadelphia Flyers down by one go to the power play.
Two plays for Lane Hudson. One he's going to get a penalty on. The initial one, he stops Alex Bump, gets good body positioning with Couturier. He loses body positioning, gets his stick into the hands of Couturier, gets called for hooking as Bobby Brink is heading to the net. And the Montreal Canadiens, with 2:07 to go in the third period, look to kill off a penalty.
Face off to the right of Kaapo Kähkönen. His first game as a Montreal Canadian in preseason action. Jakub Dobeš started the game for Montreal. Newhook will take the face-off for the Canadiens. Up against Couturier, wins it back cleanly. Dvorak finds Sanheim as the Flyers set up their power play. 1 for 3 tonight on the power play. The road team, Tippett on the power play in the second period. Got them within one. Shot just wide. Tippett trying to pick up the loose puck. Couturier finds Sanheim. Weighs his options, a high and hard shot off the back of Dvorak. 3-on-3 battle along the boards. Vinzen's Roar getting some time on the kill with the Canadiens. Sanheim up ahead, Brink off the backhand. Butter is in behind. Carrier settles the puck and makes it clear. Arvid Xhekaj. Paquette Bisson. Your defenders now for the Canadiens on this kill as Brink enters the zone. Arbor Jacki separates the puck and gets the clear. Sanheim's able to keep it in, though, as goaltender heads off. Extra attacker on the ice for the Flyers as they push. Final minute to go in the third period. Flyers down by 1. Extra man on the ice and the power play underway. Couturier down low, quick tap in front. Jacki with a great clear. Broken stick on the play. It's Christian Dvorak, so he heads off. Instead, he'll grab a stick and stay in play. Yatluchenko finding it on the far side to bump. Jacki, another great clear. Make that 2 for Arbor Jacki. Will it go in? Just wide. Oh, that would have complete the story tonight for the Jacki family.
A little more spin on that.
Christian Dvorak finds Luchenko.
There it is.
Jacki here, second time. Yeah. Bingo! The Wi-Fi is strong tonight. Arbor Jacki and Florian Jacki scoring tonight for the Montreal Canadiens.
Well worth the 6-hour drive for Mom Simona, who comes in to watch her 2 sons play together in a preseason NHL game for the first time. Florian's got a goal, he's got a fight, and now Arbor's got a goal. An empty net goal as he jumps on this flubbed pass. Almost had one on the previous clearing attempt, makes no mistake on the second one. Sends it all the way down the ice and into the net. What a night for the Jacki brothers. And a memorable one for the entire family.
And a great penalty kill by Arbor Jacki. He knew how important the penalty kill opportunities were going to be for himself in training camp. Some excellent clears. And the icing on the cake with the empty net goal. As the clock winds down at the Bell Center, the Canadiens wins in back-to-back nights at the Bell Center. And a feel-good story tonight for the Jacki family.
What a memorable night for Florian and Arbor Jacki, as they are the story. The Montreal Canadiens win 4-2 in preseason. Here they are arriving to the game today, and then Florian gets the party started with a goal. Mom Simona loves it, brings her to tears, and then how about a fight against one of the toughest players in the NHL, Nick Deslauriers. Big bro giving him props, and then to put an exclamation mark on things, Arbor Jacki, shorthanded, final seconds of the game, gets his own goal, and a 4-2 win for the Montreal Canadiens, and a very memorable night for the Jacki family.
Training camp is underway. Next up for the Montreal Canadiens, they've got the Toronto Maple Leafs on Thursday night. 4 games in 6 days. It's a busy schedule. We'll see a new crop of talent on Thursday night at the Bell Center. Back-to-back wins for Montreal. A night to remember for the Jacki family. On behalf of myself, Kenzie Alone, Frankie Corrado, and our entire team here at Habs on TSN, we thank you for watching, and I'll see you Thursday night.